Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Wa'aruka Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things. And salutations to Yakim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and in truth. So I got this article right here, and it caught my attention because this year they say, let me give a little update about what's going on here in Holland. So this year they say uh, it's been 150 years ago that Holland stopped with the slavery. Well, these devils, let me tell you about these devils here in Holland. They were the first one who sent a slave ship from the west coast of Africa to America. They were also the last one who stopped with slavery. While the other Edomites stopped with slavery, Holland at least went on for another 10 years. Okay, that being said, so there's a lot of commotion. You got this devil Johan Derksen talking a lot of shit. He's always like to talk a lot of shit. He's probably pushed by the government to create some hatred and stuff. But fuck him anyway, because all you so-called white people, you Edomites, you are going into slavery and gonna be destroyed after 1,000 years. So that's your future. So y'all can have your little fun right now while your queendom is going down, because that's also a fact. So let me see. So this article, already it vexed me a little bit. I'm like, these fucking devils, man. That's also a thing, at the kingdom that is about to come, when Yahushai, who the world unknowing calls Jesus, when he's coming back, he's gonna set down, he's gonna establish the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of the children of Israel. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, his kingdom is gonna be established upon earth, and none of y'all heathens, all your people outside of the nations of Israel, gonna live under us, under the people, under the children of Israel. Yes, and all your heathens, all of y'all are going into slavery, hardcore slavery. So keep that in mind. So these devils, if it's something good, because this is excuse, Holland is talking about, they want to make an excuse on the 19th of December. So it's supposed to be a good thing. We don't want your excuse. I just want y'all, and the Most High already said it, I shall give you the heathens for thy inheritance. So we're going to own y'all anyway. Y'all can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. But anyway, so as soon as there is something favoring towards the Jacob descendants, the children of Israel, so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos, then they are ready to basically to fight against it, So now we got this punk, who wrote this article. I don't know the name of this. I don't know if it is the female wrote it or whatever. I see some names here. I don't know. Anyway, let me just read the article because fuck these people, man. So researchers are surprised that the government ignores extensive slavery in the East. So this talking about the Japhetic people. They also had them in slavery, but it wasn't the way that they did with us. Don't forget, my mother, my parents are from the island, and my mother told me a lot about shit that the so-called Dutch people used to do. The Spanish were there, the French people were there. I believe even the English people were there on the islands. But the Dutch, they were the last one, and they were the worst one. Even the Portuguese people were there. But the Dutch, they were doing some horrible shit, horror shit. My mother thought they were the worst concerning torturing and punishing slaves. Fuck these devils. So slavery and the slave trades were more extensive in the Dutch territories in the former East Indians than in the Dutch colonies in the West. So they mean that the slavery was worse there. Get the fuck out of there, man. Says historians and researchers. Yet the planned recognition and apologies are mainly aimed at the slavery past in Suriname and the Caribbean. man, I need to grab the description, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Yeah, this devil's, hey, I'm gonna own you, man. Yahweh is not gonna own this motherfucker who wrote this article. With the pride thereof. That the Surinamese and the Caribbean Dutch communities are more outspoken does not mean that the extent of slavery in the East should be glossed over, says Reggie Bay. Okay, so you recognize that is more out. Oh, no, no. Get the fuck out of there, man. Yeah, there's more spoken about. Get the fuck out of there, man. Says Reggie Bay, a writer and researcher of Indonesian descent who has written extensively on the former Dutch India. Probably an Edomite also. A lot of them are Edomites. They think that they are so-called Japhets, but they just of the wicked seed. On Thursday, Prime Minister Mark Rutte will speak with the organizations involved at the Katshuis about, among other things, expressing the apologies on December 19. Several invitees consider not going. Bay is invited but does not go. It is only for the stage. The slavery past in the East Indies has not been taken seriously by the cabinet so far. Okay, but if the slavery, they had us in slavery and they stopped, they went on 10 years longer than other countries, and now it's 150 years later, so they want to make an apologize, and now you're complaining, man. But this is our punishment anyway. Matter of fact, let me jump real quick to the book of Deuteronomy. Let me see. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So this is one of the curses, for us to be the lowest among all the nations, being the lowest. So people look down on us, and as soon as they see some little favor is about to come towards us, you will have these heathens jump up and try to do something against it. So let me see. Adversaries board only for slavery history in the West. In the run-up to the decisions on apologize, the House of Representatives established the adversary board dialogue group slavery history. Dagmar Oudzoorn, director of Amnesty International Netherlands and daughter of a Surinamese father, was chairman of the new defunct adversary board. Our assignment from the Ministry of the Interior was only focused on the West Indies. The transatlantic slave trade, says Oudzoorn, we have directed further research into slavery in the East Indies because the slavery history of the Netherlands concerns both the East and the West Indies. A spokesman for the Ministry of the Interior says that he will not respond to the recommendations of the advisory board until December 19. The start of any dialogue or research means that you have to make certain choices, for example, in geographic region or in time period. The choice when setting up the slave history dialogue group then focused on the transatlantic slave trade, but as the dialogue group in its report itself states, more research is needed also in the East Indies. The cabinet will consider the advice from this report in detail on December 19. So while we are in Esau's queendom, you got all these heathens, who can do this shit. But when the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai is going to be established here on earth, you're going to be beneath the children of Israel. You're going to be below under the children of Israel. Y'all all going to go in a hardcore slavery for 1,000 years. All y'all heathens, all you're going to get it. None of y'all is going to be excluded. Matter of fact, let me jump to the book of Obadiah. Let me see. Let me clear my throat. The fuck out of there, man. Fucking devils. So now they want to jump into, what about us? What about us? That's why it's beautiful that the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahshua is going to be for Israel only, man. For the children of Israel only. So this is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, of course. It's only one chapter. Verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So keep on doing your wicked shit and jumping here and jumping that and try to keep us low because you're gonna get it, man. You're gonna get it. That's a fact. Let me see the book of First Maccabees. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 10. What nation had not a part in her kingdom and got enough of spoils? So all y'all being, I said it, are enjoying the fact that we are at the bottom, but you're gonna pay for it, man. All y'all gonna pay for it. Don't think that you are excluded from it, you know. Let me see. So back to the article. Silence around apologies for slavery in the East Indies. There is no large group in the Netherlands that makes excuses for slavery in Asia. It's only known among historians, academics, and writers. Since 2015, I have been advocating recognition of slavery in the East. Since 2015, get the fuck out of there. I was fighting with the school teacher, no, not really fighting, but a heathen discussion, because my mother used to tell me a lot of concerning slavery. My grandmother, she was a child during slavery, so that already shows you it's not a long time ago. So I knew a lot about slavery, and in the history book there was only a half a page talking about slavery. So yeah, get the fuck out of there with you. Oh, we're talking about since 2015 about it. Get the fuck out of there, man. Hey, Yaura, is that gonna have you as a slave, man? According to and you probably need a mind anyway. According to the researcher, it's now about which choice are made as a government. You have the task of taking the lead here to recognize this, apologize, and above all, a task in education. Descendants in South Africa. According to cultural historian and freelance researcher Nancy Jouwe, who campaigned for Papuan rights, there is growing interest in slavery in the former Dutch East Indies and in the Indian Ocean. She has just returned from Cape Town, where she participated in workshops related to the slavery past. There's too little knowledge, she says. She therefore welcomes the fact that the advisory board wants more research into slavery in the Indian Ocean area. In South Africa, you come across many people who are descendants of Indonesian enslaved people. Man, this devil, man. You can see that in their facial features, language, and culture. Oh man, these people, man. Yeah, except the so-called Negroes, Get everyone involved except the so-called Negroes, right? And the so-called Indianos. Get the fuck out of there, man. There is still too little knowledge, she says. She therefore welcomes the fact that the advisory boards wants more research into slavery in the Indian Ocean area. In South Africa, you will come across many people who are descendants of Indonesians enslaved people. You can see that in their facial features, language, and culture. In Cape Town, the news of the announced apologies seeped through. We spoke to several people there who think it's strange that the apologies are not made in the East either. And don't forget, in South Africa, you got a lot of Hamites, so they don't like us anyway. That's also a thing that you gotta keep in mind. But there are also a lot of Jakes over there also, And don't forget what the Dutch, the people of Holland used to do there. Apartheid is a word which means separation in the Dutch. The language that they speak, the so-called Afrikaan, is Old Dutch. So yeah, better keep that in mind. These Dutch are very special, man. It's a small country among if you compare it with the other Edomite countries, but they have a very big part concerning wickedness, man. So that's also a thing that you got to keep in mind. So let me see. We spoke to several people who think it's strange that the apologies are not made in the East either. To clarify, the East was included in the apologies from the municipalities of Utrecht and Amsterdam. According to Yahweh, the apologies of December 19 anticipate and the results of the independent investigation into the slavery past. It would be more convenient to wait for those results. So yeah, that's the article, I think. Yeah, that's it. So, man, this devil, man. This fucking devil. Okay, so we cannot even, you don't even want us to get and apologize. And don't get me wrong, I don't want you fucking apologize, man. But yeah, this is what the devil do, man. The book of Psalms, chapter 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. That's where he was created for, to be a fucking liar. So that's what he do. He will lie. So let me see. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 9. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. And you so-called white people, you're gonna perish, man, like his own dung, as the book of Job stated. Fucking devil, man. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So it's in this so-called white person, in this Edomites, in this devil, it's in him. He's created to do wicked. So yeah, he will continue to do wicked as long as the kingdom, as we are still under this, under this devil. We have to suffer this wickedness, man. That's what it is. Let me see. Let me jump to the book of Baruch. Thinking about a scripture. Let me see. So this is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments according to all iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power. So we are, until this day, until Yahweh Shai comes back with his angels, with the angels. Until that day, we still on the in captivity. We're still under this devil, so we have to suffer this shit, And like I said before, we don't want you to apologize, man. We want to own y'all. We're waiting for that day, man, that we can put y'all in chains and cut you up in four and throw dash your babies against the stones. Thus said the Bible. You can look it up in Psalms chapter 137. You can read it for yourself. So yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it like that. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Warukakudash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all your Akim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and the truth. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.